Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy and Johnny Show. I'm
Hey,
Jonathan myself.
oops, this is Jimmy. We didn't have our shit straight today.
Yeah, we certainly don't want to step on each other. So, so Jimmy, we always kick around topics and we always kind of figure out, our game plan for these shows. And you threw it out and you said, hey, what do you want to talk about? And you caught me at the time, literally right in the middle of working on a campaign for one of our clients. And it was centered around a new mover campaign.
Ooh, I like those.
That's a good one, right?
Yeah, that's a good concept.
Yeah. So talk a little bit. Tell me about your experience with new mover. We got some good stuff to share. We can even give away, that S&D piece. So if you guys don't know anything about me, I love this thing called S&D, swipe and deploy. And basically, I take items that I've utilized, real marketing, and I break it down for you and I give it to you so that you can swipe and deploy it for your business. And one of the pieces that I have that we're going to reference tonight is actually an S&D piece that you guys can have. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, I'd love to get that because there's a lot of gold and a lot of value in it, you can certainly go to restaurantvipprogram.com. And there'll be a little download resources button in the upper right-hand corner that will magically make appear before we air this show. And so you can go to that and you can actually get access to a whole bunch of tools, and anything that we ever talk about that we give away as a free resource, you can actually hit that site and we'll actually give you access to our members area. There's a free section in there and it'll be part of Restaurant Success System. So you'll see Restaurant Success System in there. That's a lot of the tools and everything that we utilize. So when you get there, you're not confused, but it's all centered around restaurantvipprogram.com is where I'm going to tell you to go to actually get access to it. Does that sound good, Jimmy?
Makes great sense. Thank you.
Yeah. So we're going to talk through this piece and we're going to talk through the whole concept of what a new mover piece is. So Jimmy, give us the fundamentals of it. If you've never heard the term before, what should they be thinking about when they hear about new mover?
Yeah, well, one of the things that sticks out in my head was when we had the pubs, we knew that people moved a lot or they died, or, we were living in a city where that was very transient. We had a big pharmaceutical company. So people would be coming in and out all the time. So we were always trying to figure out, well, how do we get these new movers? How do I find out who's moving into my community? And, once I moved into the community myself, I had to get a new dry cleaner, and I had to get a new restaurant, and I had to get a new bakery. I had to find all these things, and it's really hard and stressful, and you always go back to that one place that's really comfortable to you. And in my opinion, that's our job to help our listeners, is make their restaurant that one place that those people are comfortable at. While they first move there, they'll go to explore. They'll always come back to where they're comfortable, and that's my takeaway.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. So, some stats-based stuff. They say at any one time in America that somewhere between 16 and 18.5% of the population, 18.5% of the population is in some type of transition and moving. So, think about it. You live somewhere, like Jimmy said, you relocate, job, family, something, causes you to change. Well, you got to go and figure all that stuff out again. And it's a great opportunity for a restaurant to show up at the exact right moment with the right message, and hit them, hey, welcome to the neighborhood. And that really should be your backbone of what you're thinking about, is you're going to welcome them and help them. And if you do that well enough, then you'll end up creating a fantastic relationship and customers for life, really.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're kind of training them into a new habit to come and visit you over anybody else.
Absolutely. So, back in the day, and again, me, I'm a big fan of direct mail and physical mail. And I just read an article the other day that supports my case that millennials, that crazy bunch out there, they're actually proponents of direct mail. Because think about it, they're always plugged into their phones and this, kind of wall of communication that they create. but they actually, if you hit them with direct mail, it's like exciting and different. And, they're like, oh my God, they're all grown up now and they have their own mailbox that crap just shows up in.
That's right. Well,
So
it's
it's a
funny
good
how you mentioned that.
direct mail.
Yep.
And tell us about the new way and what you've been working on for actually our members. Tell us about that a little bit.
Well, we're using the technology out there in the Facebook world. So if people go and update their address, Facebook pays attention to that, and they'll give us the sorting capability to find anybody that's moved in my radius that I tell them, and they'll put an ad right in front of those people. So what we do is we create a good image, good title, just like a direct mail piece, Jonathan. It's got the title, the subtitle, and the call to action. But you put out that good picture and a good offer, and you put it in front of them. And the beauty of it is, it happens every couple weeks. It's just the same ad, and it just runs and runs and runs and runs. It gets put in front of new people, and then they click on this link, and it goes directly into our VIP program, and they get a reward. They go into the database, and you can communicate with them for years and years and years. And all of a sudden, they go, well, why go anywhere else? Because you already know my birthday. You already know where I live. So it's exactly what we're doing right now.
Yeah, so utilizing a couple different pieces of technology that we have all put together, we're able to go out and grab the data, and we don't actually grab the list. So in the past, and you still can do this, and I still recommend doing this, but you go buy a list of people that have moved into your area, and that's
not that expensive.
Available. And there's some services out there. There's welcome wagon services. When I moved into my new home, I had a woman show up with a big old basket and, of all this stuff. And she was part of the welcome wagon. And, she gave me a magazine, and she gave me, some different vouchers and offers and coupons and information about the area. So you can find those people out and get your actual offer into that, which is pretty cool. And because it's hand delivered, that's kind of the nice part about that, is that somebody is actually presenting it for you. That usually costs a little bit more. Another way is obviously, a postcard or a letter. And I'm going to share with everybody tonight, I'm going to show you guys an actual letter, because there's some really, really important pieces to the letter that I want to show everybody, because, we're essentially talking about cold prospects. These people have never heard about you.
Right. They don't know you.
Than in your restaurant. If they already came to your restaurant and you capture their information and now you're communicating to them, it's super easy. They already know you. You just got to kind of hey, it's me. Where these people never heard of you.
Over here.
Yeah. That's all you got to do. So with what we have put together, you're able to do this on Facebook, get in front of them, and you're able to hit them, you're able to welcome them, and you're able to do it in such a way that it reads to them. Hey, we understand you're new to the neighborhood. We'd love to welcome you. And a way we'd love to do that is by inviting you to our restaurant, our business, whatever you want to say.
Our family.
Yeah, our family. And so then you get them to click, right? You get them to interact, and you want to capture some basic information. And in our world, we always capture their name, we capture their phone number, and we capture their email address. Multiple reasons. Go ahead, Jim.
No, simple stuff. Yeah, it's just
simple stuff. That's all you need. And then once you capture them for that, then you send them a certificate. And the certificate basically is, it can be a real certificate. In the past, when I've done mail, I've actually bought checks, like real business checks, and ran them through the printer. And on the check, it was like, it was like a $10 check, it looked like. And it was from the restaurant, and they could literally take the check part off, and the stub had the letter and the information about the business. So
it's really cool.
Yeah, you can mirror that. I mean, your email can look like that. Why couldn't it? A certificate, and then the body of the actual piece. And the body of the piece is really important, because you are communicating to somebody that essentially has never heard about you until you got this ad in front of them. And now they've clicked it, and they've kind of opted in to get this. Now you still need to get them to come in the building. So that's an important part to it, Jimmy. One of the things that I don't talk about often with the new movers, and you can only really do it effectively when you're using our loyalty program or our rewards program, is when it actually comes in, we actually can track the redemptions. So we know that, Mrs. Smith signed up on the 25th. She came in on the 1st. She's good. Okay. Mrs. Smith, we connect the dots. Boom. We know how much Mrs. Smith spent. Mrs. Smith is already enrolled into our club. So when we actually interact with her at the end of it, we just say, hey, since you signed up for this, we just want to let you know that you're now a member of our rewards program, and you're going to get points tonight for what you spend. So every time you spend money with us, you accumulate points. When you get to whatever the threshold is on your club, you're going to get X amount of dollars. So all of a sudden now Mrs. Smith is like, wow, this place is like, invited me in with an offer. They did a great job. They already have me kind of in their system, so they're gonna help me and reward me. You're off to a really, really, really good start to making that person a customer for life.
Yep.
And the thing we used to do is we asked them to present it when they came to the hostess stand or when they came to the counter, or whatever type of concept you have. We always wanted that piece out. And the reason we want it out is because if my people in the building know it, then we obviously are going to make an extra attempt to kind of wow them, because we know that this is our shot. This is our time. We got to give it all we got, to the point that if I'm in the building, they would come and get me, and I would certainly go and talk to them. If not, the manager on duty would absolutely go and talk to them. And we just really nailed the steps of service. And we were just very, very conscious that we have somebody that's giving us a shot based off of a letter that I wrote them saying, give me a shot.
Right.
And they're there now. So, my word's on the line, and, everybody in the building wants that person to become a lifelong customer, because if they are, everybody's going to win, right? That's one more person coming every week and tipping, and one more person that's contributing to the light bill and all that kind of fun stuff. So
vacation. Yeah.
They're really valuable. So think of this strategy. I don't think it gets any easier than that. And when I actually show you the mechanics of it and the language and how you can put this together, you'll understand it even more. But, think about that. At any given time, somewhere between 16 and 18.5% of the population's in transition. Like Jimmy said, this campaign is always running in the background of your business. And you can easily have a few hundred of these coming in every single month on autopilot for your business. And if you have that power to have that many people coming in, all you got to do is then you get them in the program. You get them into your program, and you just keep them, and you make sure you reward them, and you do a great job every day, and your business just goes.
That curves up and explodes. Yep. So, and there's one of the stats that I wanted to bring up real quick.
Yeah.
Was on your little new mover swipe and deploy.
Yeah.
It talks about a new mover will spend 210% longer as a customer, other than just buying a coupon book or something else, because you're giving them that much attention. I just wanted to iterate that, how long they stay with you. That's a big deal.
It's huge, Jimmy. Yeah, that's right. So some other stats around it, just, if you're not convinced, which, that's, if I was listening to this right now, Jimmy, and I didn't have it, I'd already be figuring out how to do it. This is one of those.
We'll tell you.
So another stat is 3, right? That represents the average number of vendors or merchants in an area that actually reach out to new movers. So another really valuable part of this is that no one else is doing it.
Right.
The big boys are good at it, okay? Lowe's, Home Depot. Once you hit that mail thing and you change the mail, the big boys are good at it, because they know you just moved in, right? What are you going to do? You're going to go, you got to probably paint something, fix something, do something. Hey, hit them right off the get-go. They always give you some type of voucher, $50 off at Lowe's. Yep. Because if they can make you come to Lowe's and make a habit out of it, and it's the closest Lowe's to your house, boom, they got you. And they know the value of that.
Every time.
So that's a good one. So 54% of households, have an adult in them. So you got to assume that and in most cases, they have more than one adult. 54% have more than one adult. So when they move, it's not just about one customer. You got, again, my old thing about, mommy, daddy, Bobby, and Susie. The odds that there is a daddy and a Bobby and a Susie are pretty high.
Yep.
So if that's the case, you're not going to get one new customer, you're going to get a whole family. So the value now just went up exponentially off of what that person actually is worth to you to get them in the door. It's super cost effective. The way that we set up and run the Facebook campaign, the ad spend is what I would consider insignificant. What are your thoughts about that, Jimmy?
Yeah, absolutely. We usually allocate about $100 to it. It's really stupid.
Yeah, and then obviously there's some cost. You have cost if you're going to be doing an offer and if you're going to give them an entree or something. But what's the real cost there? It's your food cost.
It's your plate cost. It's your
so
your steak. Yeah.
If you're running 30% and you're going to weigh $10, it's $3. Plus it'll cost you $1 or so to get them in the building. I don't know.
I spend $38 when they're there. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
If I do that in the stock market every day, I would.
Oh my God, wouldn't you, Jimmy? So those are a couple of the good stats around it. The thing that's important is that I think it's one of those that everybody should be doing it. This is a baseline campaign that I ran in my business while I had restaurants. This campaign ran from the beginning to the end every single day. I never, ever was one of those campaigns where I was even thought about getting rid of it. That's how good it is.
Yeah,
so this promotion was like way up there.
Yep, it was part of my formula too, where we had a birthday every month, we had the new mover every month, and it was always just part of the equation that I knew was happening. I do an event, a promotion, the new mover, the birthday, and it's just constant activity.
Yeah, and this is one of the ones, Jimmy and I did recently a whole thing on promotions, and we talked about it, and we ran through, I think our topic was 10, but I think we gave away 12. My bad.
14.
Our bad, we over-delivered, Jimmy. So that's referenced in there as one of the best all-time campaigns that makes the most money for a restaurant. So let's get into the anatomy of it a little bit, Jimmy.
Absolutely.
So I talked about the check looking thing. I talked about the body. I can actually show it, Jimmy. I have it up here. I probably can get it up there on the screen for everybody if y'all are patiently enough with me. But I want to get into like the real mechanics of this piece, Jimmy, because when you understand it and why this is like I'm going to give everybody a lesson in copywriting essentially, because there's things in this that make this thing really powerful, and it's the same things that you need in most of your marketing pieces anyway. So we might as well dive into it, and I'm going to show everybody this bad boy if I can. There we go. Come on, Jimmy, we're almost there.
We got it.
We can do it. Can you see it?
No, yes, I can.
Hey, all right. There you go, everybody. So I can probably make it a little bit bigger. And tell me if it's too big.
Yeah, it's kind of off screen that way.
Yep, we're going to get her in there. Wham, Jimmy. Look at that thing.
Boom.
Boom. Drop the mic. Okay. So, so this is an example. Actually, this is actually even more interesting because this creates a whole nother promotion. So looking at this, it reminded me of what I was using it for. So not only can you do new movers from you're mailing them, right, to people that live in homes. This particular piece was actually done in an apartment complex. So think about this. And this is really cool because there's another little twist to this about cold promotions that you can do. So this one is one that I used to make for all the apartment complexes near me. And the apartment complexes used to put it inside of the welcome folder that they gave all of their new residents. Yep. So this one cost me, I didn't even have to mail this, Jimmy. This thing just, every time they had somebody move in, they were giving it away for me. So this is one of those that it hits a couple different things. It's a cold prospecting piece. It's a joint venture. So a joint venture is when you partner up with somebody else and another business, then you can kind of refer people back and forth. And I also would consider this an endorsed piece. So an endorsed mailer is where you get somebody on your behalf to send something for you. It's like an endorsement, right?
Yeah.
So in this particular case, it's an endorsement because it wouldn't be in there if the apartment complex didn't approve it and believe that it was a good offer for their residents. So it like checks a whole bunch of boxes in my world. So this one wasn't done as a check. This was done as a voucher, but you can get that could easily be a check on a page. And, right off the bat, I can see it a mile away, the word free is in there. We used to give away a sandwich. It was $7. So there was no string. Like you came in, you got that sandwich. It was free, right? But I didn't give them the fries and I didn't give them the drink or the lemonade or whatever that they were going to now have to buy. I gave them the sandwich knowing that if this came in, I wasn't going to lose a penny on this thing. This was a absolute self-liquidating offer. That's when, your spend is, what you're actually spending on the piece and what you're getting back is neutral. So we call that self-liquidating. And this to me is a self-liquidating offer. I would actually go and hunt down more ways to find self-liquidating offers in my world. So this was a good one. And I just I took the apartment complex's logo, which I stole right off their website. I print these up. And then we actually had a program in place where every month we would call them and just make sure that they had enough of these. So that was kind of the trick of it was and this is like one of those, this is a gold nugget takeaway for everybody. Do not leave your business in the hands of somebody else and expect that they're going to call you when they run out of your marketing pieces.
Nope, not at all.
That is foolish.
And thing with takeout menus when you're dropping them off downtown, they're not going to come ask for more.
Yeah, you absolutely, whatever you're distributing stuff like this, or whenever you have a joint venture or joint venture partner, you should be doing something to rally them. And one of the things that we used to do that I thought was really, really effective was we would host every so often, usually quarterly, we would actually host a reception for all of the people that we had relationships of business with. And that works again. It's a multi-pronged sword. So now I invite all these people in and I provide them with, appetizers and things like that. I wouldn't, in my state, you're not allowed to give away alcohol, or at least that's what I would tell them. So they would have to pay for alcohol. So now I have a self-liquidating networking event.
Sure.
And I would encourage them to bring their friends and other people that they know are in business that they thought would enjoy, one, interacting with these other businesses. So it's a networking thing for all of them. And anybody that they could bring me to then further joint venture with. We used to do this type of stuff all over the place, Jimmy. We'll have to talk more about that on one of our calls, but I have a whole bunch of ways that you can joint venture very creatively. So this was a good one. So as you go through it, right off the bat, it welcomes them. It talks about menu and stuff, and then it diverts really into all of the great stuff that we do. It talks, in this case, we were fresh cut fries and, fresh baked bread. All of that is mentioned somewhere in this. And this is not the letter format that I utilize. I'm going to show you the letter format here in a second. That is a little bit more wordy and designed also very specifically to invoke a response from them. But this is a great way to get your stuff out there. I'm going to back out of it just so everybody can see. It's super simple. It gets folded up and it gets put into an envelope. And the envelope was always like very, very, very plain. And it looked essentially handwritten. So it was just white envelope. Return address did not have the business name. And there's a reason for that. And it looked like it was handwritten. So it looked like a letter that, their aunt could have sent them from the outside. And that's by design. And there's certain ways to do mailers to get them opened, right? Lumpy mail. So if you if you're doing this type of stuff, there's a few ways you can do it. One, you can go direct like that, but you can also include other things in there. You could make this a collaborative mailer if you were ever worried about cost. You could certainly invite, if you have a neighbor to the right and left of you that are other businesses, the nail place and the hair salon, you could certainly invite them in on this deal and get them to pay for it, really is why you would do that.
Right.
And so you could do a collaborative mail. You can stick something in there, a keychain, a sticker, something, ideally something that makes the envelope a little bit more lumpy, right? We like to refer to that as lumpy mail because we know lumpy mail gets open. You get this, everything else stacks up and then all of a sudden this one is like making all the mail fall. I want to be the one sending the one that makes the mail fall because everything else moves out of my way, right? It's like, the stack, and then everything slides off, and there you are. Oh, It's like a weight comes down, So that's one of the tricks of it. So that's a little bit of the anatomy of it, and I want to talk a little bit more about the anatomy and point out a couple other things for you.
One of the things I learned, Jonathan, was white envelope, blue ink in the handwritten font. Yep, blue ink.
Right? It's beautiful. It works. It gets it opened. It looks, and there was a long time, Jimmy, that we actually used to handwrite envelopes. Nowadays the printers are good and you can do this stuff pretty well. But, if you look at that, there's a few key pieces on that. So there's an offer expiration. Every one of your offers needs to expire because if I just sent this out there and said, come in someday, one, it doesn't invoke it. This is going to like force them into my business in a certain amount of time. It's got a great offer on there. There's nothing for them to lose. It looks official, so there's no reason for them to doubt it for any reason. And then even in the upper portion that they could detach, it has all of the contact information for the business, including the phone number on the website. Yep. So those are just some real basics. And in this, and it's not really all about me and the logo. If you guys ever see a lot of my marketing, my logo is not at the top of it. It's always at the bottom or in a corner at the bottom because nobody cares about your logo but you. Sorry. I know you just got that thing done and you got it all polished up and you love slapping it on everything, but it doesn't really sell anything. But in this particular case, it's on the check kind of looking thing. So those are kind of the basics of it. I'm going to show another version here, Jimmy. Now this was this was almost the opposite of that. So this one, I'm actually going to show the envelope. So this was the actual envelope, Jimmy. So it was a full envelope, that was completely, it was like a shiny envelope, which I usually don't do. It had a lot going on, but it was very obvious that it was something for them. It had girth and weight to it. There was actually a couple pieces in there because at the time we were pushing the opening of a new business. So it wasn't about new mover per se that we were getting somebody new. It was about we were new. So we mailed this to everybody in the neighborhood. So we really wanted to blanket the area and we put this piece together and it has lots of good information. But if you look, it's got a similar format. It tells a story and it's got our hours. It hits all this kind of stuff that's, we're a center plate, we have center of the plate dinner entrees, we do breakfast, lunch, dinner, all this kind of things, unforgettably friendly service. So all that stuff is really hitting on all cylinders. And this one actually included a letter. And if you look here at the letter format, it's a very personal, compelling letter from me. Or this one was from Stan. I actually used my manager of the business at the time and had it because he lived in the neighborhood. He lived about a mile from the actual business. So we used this at a different angle. We used it that, hey, I'm your neighbor and I'm opening a restaurant and I want you to come and hang out with me. So
I like it. You should like it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, I'm your neighbor. Like you need to come and meet me and we need to be friends. You need to spend lots of money with me. So I'm still your neighbor in the future. So this goes through, but same thing. It weaves in and out of it. It weaves in and out all kind of the freshness and, from our fresh baked breads to our this and that. So it goes through, it talks about some of our signature menu items, and those are by design and placed in there very specifically, those particular items. Sizzling provolone was probably our best appetizer. It was one of these things that, like, think about a fajita. This thing was a cheese plate that was on fire and came rolling through the restaurant, and the whole place smelled and people heard it coming. So we love selling those things. And, and the other two that are on there were really good contribution margin items. So remember that when you're recommending something in your marketing, you're trying to get them to buy that, make sure they're really good winners for you. And all three of those items were fantastic. So another thing that's in here is some really compelling copy around the guarantee. So it's another thing. So I talked about an expiration that needs to be in every one of your offers. Another one is a guarantee. People do not use their guarantee enough at all. Your guarantee, I'm putting the guarantee out in front. So this is like, before they even come to me, I'm telling them that I guarantee it. What does it say? If I have to put my neck on the line with my ironclad money back, if you're not absolutely delighted, 100% satisfaction guarantee, I'll do that too. So that's the kind of compelling copy that's in this for you guys to go grab. But, again, it's S&D. Go swipe it, go deploy it in your business, and start utilizing it and making money on it. So what else do you want to add to it, Jimmy?
Well, I just want to, while you were talking, I was listening and thinking.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
One of our friends, Kyle, would do the apartment thing. He lived in a university town, and he would, when all the freshmen would come in, and even through the dorms, he would figure out how to do it. And he would get all of these new people every year, every fall, to get habits of coming into his specific restaurant.
Oh, that's fantastic. I mean,
and then another one of our friends that lives in an upper scale neighborhood, he was like a steakhouse, if you will. He used this to get some of those newer executives in that needed to unwind in that quiet, dark, cigar/brandy kind of a spot. And so my point was, if you have a wings place that's all about sports, this will work. If you have a steakhouse, this will work. If you have a breakfast spot, this will work. It's not niche. It's completely across the board a useful tool.
This thing works like a charm. It actually works really well on catering too, Jimmy. So we had a whole catering package that we used to mail out, and you can go and find new businesses that are opening in your area. If they have to register to be a business in your town, I'm sure, and you're able to get those, and you can do you can send them your information if you're doing catering. So it works there. The only other thing that I want to add to it is, and this was talking about the power of utilizing this in connection with Restaurant VIP program. So we have the ability to track redemptions and track spend. So we would know if it comes back in, and we'd know how much they spend. I mentioned that earlier. So, okay, that's good. But the thing we didn't talk about was we'd know if it didn't come back in. And if it doesn't come back in, then we can send them another piece. We can send them another piece. So this is like one of those where it's got sequential legs that can be built on it. If they don't, if they actually opt in, they signed up, but now that certificate has not come through the door and we have not gotten a transaction based off of that person, then we can follow up and say, hey, and we can hit them before the expiration. Oh, remember that offer we sent you? It's about to expire in 7 days, and we don't want you to miss it. We know you're going to love our restaurant.
Yep, and we can use the power of SMS. Because they gave us their phone number, most likely it's their cell. Who's got a home number anymore unless they're older folks? But most likely it's a cell, and we can tap them in that little text message and the email and go, woohoo, come see me.
Yeah, the registration form that we utilize, we always tell people to put their cell phone number because we tell them that's going to be their member number. So, and it's our unique identifier in our system. So we know it's their cell phone number. So like Jimmy said, a little, hey, what's that? Oh, that restaurant. That's right. I really want to go there.
Let's go there tomorrow night, honey.
Yeah, boom, done. Okay. So hey, I hope everybody got something out of that. This is way more than a $50 a day idea, by the way. This is a easily this is a a $200 a day idea. I'm going to go with that today.
A game changer.
It's
really.
a game changer. This is one of those that, like, you got to do it. Just go do it. If you've never done it and you want it done or done with you or for you, you just need to give us a call. And our contact information, you can go to restaurantvipprogram.com and find us. And at the end of this, if you're watching it in video, there's all kinds of ways to get a hold of us. But that's what I would do. I would just go to restaurantvipprogram.com and we'll get you all set up with this. We'll show you how to do it. We can add it to your rewards program and boom, you're done.
Exactly.
One phone call and you're done.
Those good. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so that was good one, Jimmy. I'm going to run today. Today I am I'm dropping the mic on this one. It's like,
boom, I'm out.
Peace. I'm out of here.
Well, just remember, everybody, we're here to help you. If you need us, call us. We're here to help.
Absolutely. Have a good one. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.